Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. A new week brings upon new takes, new controversies, new quotes that I salvage and scour the internet to find. Some actually just it doesn't even take me that long to find. They just kind of land right into my lap. And this one comes from Variety. It was a post on X, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit. It regards to actors, celebrities in Hollywood, I guess you could say, in that sense. But Variety posts, Josh Brolin was 16 years old on the Goonies set and tried to make his character more complex than needed. Steven Spielberg shut him down. Quote, I think my character Brandon is freaking out, and the tunnels represent the inside of his mother's womb, and he's trying to cut the umbilical cord. Steven looked at me, and he goes, yeah, just act. Just say what's on the page. He wasn't being an asshole. He was right. I read that, and I'm being honest, I like Josh Brolin. I think he's a really, really good actor, right? I know I've seen the Goonies many, many times. I know his character. You know, I know what he's referring to. If you haven't seen the Goonies, it's like this adventure movie about like a bunch of kids trying to find a treasure to save their neighborhood for them having to move out of their neighborhood and their neighborhood being torn down, right? And so I get what he's saying about this. I understand. But what a weird thing to, think about, to conjure up in your mind that he is still in his mother's womb, attached to the umbilical cord and trying to burst out. What a strange way to put yourself in that mindset and to think about when you're acting as a teenager in tunnels underground. What a bizarre approach to that, I think. Now, of course, he's very good in the movie, right? He plays a good part. He's not phoning it in. It doesn't seem like it, at least. He's acting very well. But, I mean, even a director with a legendary status as Steven Spielberg was even like, this is just crazy the way this dude is approaching this. Just picture yourself in the current situation that you're in, right? You're acting in underground tunnels, wanting to get out. Keep it simple. Keep it straightforward. Don't overcomplicate things. Your character isn't some crazy psychological thinker where, he's got to, put himself in these weird situations and that's how you should act. When I saw this, I was my jaw dropped. And I'm thinking to myself, how on earth did he get to that point? And why would he think that at that point in this movie, while filming this movie? Give credit to Steven Spielberg too, for keeping him I guess you could say not tied down, but centered mindset, And for Josh to say this when he was 16 years old, when he was playing this movie, is also strange as hell when you think about it. That movie came out in I believe 1985. And it's so strange. So strange to think that that's where his mindset was, But then again, Josh Brolin is an actor. His job is revolving and is constantly playing make-believe and playing not real, and role-playing, right? That's his job. So I guess it isn't too weird for him to have this kind of mindset when tackling on a role, and especially a role like his role in this movie, in The Goonies, where he is not the main character. He's like in it a good amount, but let's be honest, like he is not like the main guy. The main guy is Mikey, Sean Astin's character. And even then, so like even in that role, like he Sean Astin plays Mikey very well too. But it isn't like a super complex role. Like, he's got to get some like weird ass, dream up of some weird ass situation where he can act better. I mean, I guess like, it is like a good trick, I guess you could do, or get you to be in a mindset of where you will actually excel even more. But even at that point, I'm like, you don't need to overcomplicate things, you know? And I guess, even Josh Brolin even said that Steven Spielberg was right. And I think that ultimately, as a creative person, right? Josh Brolin is considered a creative person, and so is Steven Spielberg. But at the end of the day, it's a combined effort. He doesn't have to like make his character more than what it needs to be. I feel like a lot of actors nowadays, big movie star actors, kind of almost seem like, in a way, they're like the starting quarterback of the movie, if that makes sense. What I mean is, when you're talking about sports, football, in the NFL, I feel like the starting quarterback is the guy, the face of the team, the face of the organization, the face of the franchise, and that, even though that there's people like coaches and head coaches and GMs that are actually above that quarterback, because the quarterback is looked upon as the face of the team, that he then thinks that he has more power than he should have. And in this case, I feel like Josh Brolin feels like he thinks that he has even more say and more power and more input onto what the movie and his role is going to be, how it's going to be viewed, that he thinks that, hey, what if we use my idea? What if we do this instead of your idea? I was hired to act and do what you write in the script, but I am so good at what I do, I should have some input as well. In this case, and not maybe not just this case, but in these cases in general, I guess it's kind of like case by case situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if in like certain movies I've but I've seen and I've heard that actors kind of make a little bit more decisions and give some input, some feedback into directors and writers, and they actually kind of go in the direction of the actor, and it actually pays off. You hear this sometimes with like quarterbacks, like I said, and coaches like Tom Brady to Bill Belichick, or Aaron Rodgers to Mike McCarthy in the Green Bay days, where you can say like, they drop a play, the coach does, the quarterback doesn't like it, they switch it out, and it ends up working better, or maybe even in a more of a positive result than the one that the coach might have drawn up. In that case, I guess it does work, but it's also, I guess, knowing your role in this case. And I feel like sometimes actors in this case with Josh Brolin feel like they have a little bit more power than they think. Just because like maybe, I mean, you're the driving force, you're the star of the movie, like you have ultimate saying. Really, you don't. That goes down to the writer and the director and producers. You just have to perform and do your job. Again, kind of like football. Bill Belichick always, would preach when he was with New England, like, do your job. That's what you're here for. Do your job and we'll succeed. And then that ended up, giving them, or them earning, actually winning 6 Super Bowl championships, So, and then, I guess you could say in this situation, Josh Brolin's Goonies movie wound up being a very good, successful movie that people still watch to this day and actually really enjoy. Without it, without him going too deep into the wackiness and the, you know, hey, how about my character thinks that he's in a womb trying to escape, and him like, maybe putting that in the script more and giving him more of a depth and more, arc and more, character than what he already has. But that wouldn't make any sense in a movie like this at all. Like, say if like he actually did his idea and went with it, and it was like a thing that was actually not only, visualized but vocalized in the movie, like how would we, see that movie? Would we see it differently than what we see it now in the, the final version? Would we think it's like a little strange? Probably. Honestly, it does seem like a little wacky when you think about it. And you know what? People like Steven Spielberg, who've been around the block for a long time, directed movies and worked with a lot of people, you can kind of, see, you take into consideration ideas, but ultimately, really look at, everything that you got and all the ideas and see what actually will work and benefit the movie more. Sometimes simple is actually better when you think about it. When you overcomplicate things, that's when it can get a little murky. That's when it can get a little weird, and maybe you'll lose sight of what you're actually trying to do, which is make a movie about kids in an underground tunnel, running for their lives from the Fratellis and trying to save their home. That's really all it is, and that's all it needs to be. Then you have a good movie right then and there. Don't gotta overcomplicate all the stuff and make it, more than what it needs to be. I think that's pretty, simple, I know it's just kind of weird, like how that kind of comes up, Obviously, he's being interviewed for a movie that he's doing, and then that just, a Goonies question just came up, and then they decided to run with that and go with that as like an article headline and all that. Which I understand. It's something that we've never known. I mean, like, it is a little strange to see that get brought up in 2024. But hey, I'm not the editor of Variety. I don't choose what stories they can run. Obviously, they're a major publication. They're very well known. And that was, I guess, one of the ideas that they had for a story that day. In other news of movies in Hollywood, Jamie Lee Curtis has left X. And it was so important to her leaving X that she had to post it on other social media platforms that she was leaving X. Okay. I mean, like, what am I supposed to say to that? What am I supposed to think? All right, have a nice life. Oh no, I wish you would have stayed. You were so important to X. How could X ever recover without the loss of Jamie Lee Curtis on the platform? Is that what she wants? Is that honestly how she wants me to react and feel about X losing a actress and not being on the platform anymore? Is that really how she wants me to react to this news? Should I be making videos and posting them on social media of how much I will dearly, dearly, dearly miss Jamie Lee Curtis on the platform? To tell you the truth, I never followed her in the first place. Not once did I follow her. Not once I feel like the need to follow her on the platform. I mean, she's a fine actress. She's good at what she does. I liked her in Freaky Friday. And I liked her in Knives Out. That's all I've really seen of her. She's good in those. She plays a good mom in Freaky Friday. She plays a good mom in Knives Out. She's good at what she does. What else am I supposed to say? I'm just a common man just going through his life, and she happens to be in things that I enjoy to watch. Am I supposed to feel sad? Am I supposed to feel, like we're at a loss? Should I mourn? Should I dress in black? Like, what do you want me to do? Just because you leave a platform and, for whatever reasons you may have, it seems a little narcissistic to do that in a way. Like, you need the attention this badly and you want me to feel a certain way and make a statement of why you leave a platform. I mean, I guess it is like encouraging to keep your fans and your brand up to speed of what you're doing. I understand that. But as to normal people, common people that are just kind of going about their lives, it does kind of seem a little narcissistic, if I'm being honest. And I'm like, okay, bye, whatever, have fun, have a good life. I don't wish anything bad upon you, but just like, did you really have the need to post this, that you're leaving a platform? I mean, give me a break. It just makes no sense. Whoopi Goldberg, I mean, has been making some headlines, and her show on, The View has been making some headlines as well, especially after the aftermath of the current election that just unfolded. I mean, they've been racking up the numbies, in the millions this past week and a half. But she was, she made a viral moment. It was her 69th birthday, and The View, somebody, I guess, gifted her a wheel of cheese with her face being on it. And, they had some, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it was not a surprise. She knew about it. It was going to happen. They don't do these shows surprisingly, that often. Maybe for her birthday, possibly. Possibly it could have been for her birthday. That it was a surprise. But, the majority of these shows are scripted and produced, and they have production meetings, and they know exactly what they're going to be talking about for exactly how long they're going to be talking about it. So she gets a wheel of cheese with her face on it, and everybody's cheering because, they're forced to. And she makes a joke about it. And the joke was on the lines of, I like to be eaten from time to time. And, the audience goes like, gasps and like applause, and, in reference to sexual activities. And, it was crazy because even like one of the other publications that posted about this made it such a big deal. Like, it was such a statement that they had to post a short little article on their page and make it a bigger deal than it needed to be. I mean, obviously this joke was written. Obviously this line was produced and greenlit for them to say on national TV. And I mean, of course the audience is going to act shocked because they have to. But it was just such a clickbaity line, a clickbaity headline, and quote that they had to put out there to get themselves views because they need the views. And I mean, it just felt so absolutely 100% produced. And I was just like, this cannot be where we stand on content these days, where it almost seems like The View and the publication that posted this were in cahoots and wanted to benefit from something that they cooked up to get clicks and to get, to get eyes on and ears on. I mean, it was just so strange and felt so forced and not real that when you read the headline, it looks, before you actually watch the video, it looks like she had like she made a cool little, I don't know, not cool, but like a funny line. Then when you watch the video of what it actually is and what, the context was about her being on her face being on a wheel of cheese, and then she makes a comment, and then everybody goes crazy. I'm like, okay, it's not as what the headline had, led me on to. The context, when the full context is fully, presented, it isn't as as you might think, which again is just a trick to get clicks and clickbait. And I'm just like, dude, I mean, kudos to this publication. I can't remember what it was. It might have been Vanity Fair. I think so, but I'm not too sure. Don't quote me. Congratulations. You got me to click on your article, your ad-filled website, to get to this like 20-second clip of the full context of this quote. And now I saw you caught me. You got me. That's fine. All right. You win this round. Congratulations. But it's just bizarre, how this tends to happen so many times, and I seem to fall for it, this many times. It's just like, what do I expect? Do I expect anything new? Anything different? No, but I would like something different. But I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. If I'm being completely honest. Moving on, a little bit more news on pop culture and stuff like that. Paul Mescal, the star of Gladiator 2, has spoiled Gladiator 2. And not him posting his own video, but from yet again another publication posting article, on X with a couple of attention-grabbing headlines and quotes. Essentially, the premiere, I believe, has happened. More people are seeing Gladiator 2. It's getting good reviews, and it's getting very positive viewership. And then I'm pretty sure that it was Variety that posted, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially it was a post that says, Paul Mescal loved working with Ridley Scott on Gladiator 2 and hopes to work in a third installment. You guys, I haven't seen the movie yet. That is a spoiler. I didn't know that he was going to survive this movie. I would have liked to known after watching the movie if he survives or not. Because, listen, is it cool that he's thinking about a third Gladiator? Sure. But I haven't seen the second one, so I'm not sure if it's justifiable yet, But knowing that he already survives the movie, thanks to Variety and Paul Mescal himself, shit, the movies used to be sacred. What happened in movies used to be like, hey, don't spoil it. I haven't seen it, Hey, maybe not talk about this right now because I want to see it for myself and get the full-on movie-going experience watching this movie and seeing what happens in the story with the characters and the events that follow. Now it's just like, you can tell it's just a ploy to build up hype for potentially a third movie and giving you an incentive to go see the second movie because they plan to make a third movie. And you have to see what happens in the second to know what to expect or what to think about for the third movie. To me, I would like for them to just focus on this movie first and, see what people say about this movie if they enjoy this movie. And hopefully that you are able to captivate audiences with the movie that you have spent years making up until this point and promote this one and not give anything away like, oh, Mescal is ready for the third movie. Like, motherfucker, like, I haven't seen the second one yet. Why would you do this to me? I was trending in the way to wanting to see this movie because prior, and I still think that this movie is unnecessary. I still think that it is. I want to see it. I still want to see it. I want to see what happens. And I want to see what happens for the first time without any spoilers. But now I know that you live, so it's like my excitement honestly has dipped, a good amount. But again, I understand. Movie making is a business, and you got to figure out ways to, make sure that people stay interested and they want to keep going to see these movies. I understand that. But at the same time, like, have some courtesy, have some respect. There was ultimately a time where that stuff was kept under wraps as best as they could. Even so, like, even the studios would, like, put out social media posts on all their platforms saying, like, hey, don't spoil this for people. Do not spoil it. Don't talk about it yet until after a while. That used to be like Marvel, Star Wars used to do the same thing, posting posts about, like, don't speak about it, let people see it, and then talk about it, Now, willingly, they are just putting up spoilers. And this wasn't even the first time. I remember back a couple months ago, before I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, The same publication posted a major spoiler, like without warning, and just, was like ruined it for everybody else who had not seen the film yet. And you just think about it, thinking to yourself, like, what the fuck these guys doing over there? Why the hell would they do that? To get clickbait, people to click on their articles. Okay, I get it. I understand that. You're a business too. You need to make money. But have a little bit of a little bit of respect for the viewer. Maybe try to get other stories that are not going to be so spoilerific. And if you are, maybe put spoilers ahead. That way you could have time to avoid it. I understand that it's a minor problem. It's a first world problem. Spoilers in a movie, right? That is such a first world privileged problem. But still, we can avoid it. It's avoidable. Just don't do it. Don't ruin it for other people. Please, I beg of you to not do that. It is so unnecessary to even do that. I just don't understand. But anyways, I guess I'm sort of spoiled already. I mean, I know he's going to live, so technically already spoiled. That's all I've seen so far. But now I think I have to just avoid all of these, accounts, these publications, because they just now tend to spoil everything and anything now these days, and really have no respect for the viewers or the potential viewers of movie or TV show that they choose to consume. So it's just, spoilers are running buck wild right now. I mean, there really is, no escaping them. Seems like this never was a problem before. But, in the search of views and clicks, they will now do anything that they possibly can to get eyes on it, even if that means spoiling a movie that has not come out to the general public. Now, I know I seem mad. I'm not trying to be that mad. I mean, it is podcast day. It's a great day to be alive. It's fantastic. But then at the end of the day, it's just like, why do this? Is there really... Should we even continue with this? What is the point? And that leads me to my next topic. It isn't confirmed, but it has been reported a lot of places, and a lot of people are talking about it already, that it could be real. And there has been no official announcement yet, but let's just run with this. Why not? Let me put my opinion out there to see, to challenge what others may think about this decision, even if it is true. Apparently, a new Star Wars trilogy by Simon Kinberg, producer of Deadpool and Wolverine and various X-Men movies in the Fox era, is reportedly or speculatorily creating a new Star Wars trilogy that could be either episodic, like 10, 11, and 12, or a completely different trilogy. There is no confirmation on this. Disney, Star Wars, and Lucasfilm have not reported anything, but this is coming from an insider that works with them, that this is coming, that this is happening, that's going to be announced. What are my thoughts, you might wonder? This should not be, if it is true, it really should not be episode 10, 11, and 12. Because of what they chose to do 7, 8, and 9, they and how they fumbled that entire trilogy, and how they went about it, and how, I've already said this millions of times, that trilogy, as it comes out, has become, and as time has passed, has become less and less and less and less watchable every year that passes. There is no reason to watch those movies. There is no reason to associate those movies with the original Star Wars saga, episodes 1 through 6. Zero reason at all to even put those in the same story, because it fundamentally disrespects 1 through 6. And I think that if you take into consideration and just look at it from this perspective, like, those movies were a mistake. then you'll live a happier and more complete and meaningful life with that viewpoint that those movies don't matter. They don't. So if it is true that this guy is going to be doing 10, 11, and 12, then you've already lost. Disney, you have lost. Like you are going up against an extraordinary uphill battle where you don't have, you can't win. I mean, like nobody likes these movies. No one buys the toys. No one talks about them. No one even refers to them. No one even likes to acknowledge that they even exist. Those movies are not good. And there is no redeeming quality, and there is no reason to return to that period of Star Wars or that even the branch of characters that circle or even relate to the Star Wars saga movies. There is no reason at all to make a trilogy 10, 11, and 12. There is zero reason whatsoever. Now, I hope that's not what it is, because it would be an absolute disaster. It would be a slap in the face, and it would be an actual cry for help if they decided to make episodes 10, 11, and 12. Like, it is just completely, 100%, 110% unnecessary. And I think that nobody will watch it. And I think that we are dealing with now, in this year, a much smarter audience than ever before. Not just fans of Star Wars, but fans of movies and moviegoers in general. We can smell bullshit from a mile away. When something does not look like it should be made, we will vocal our opinion and be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you making this trash? Why spend all this money to make this when you know it's not going to succeed? Especially after the hole that they dug themselves in after 7, 8, and 9. If those movies were good, then sure, my entire tone here would be completely different. But as you watch those movies and they get worse and worse and worse and blatantly disrespect the previous 6, you don't want to hear about any of that ever again. I mean, Star Wars has nothing going for them right now. No one seems to give a damn about that franchise whatsoever, including myself. Everybody who I talk to, everybody who has an opinion, who has a brain, acknowledges that those movies were very, very bad and not worth being made and not worth watching. So whatever you have planned for 10, 11, and 12, just know this. If you announce that, nobody will watch that. Nobody. Because Star Wars is generational, right? The parents who took their kids to see episodes 7, 8, and 9 were probably, betrayed. Probably, disrespected, slapped in the face, punched in the gut. You think that they're going to take their kids to see 10, 11, and 12? Because they're not that much older now. If you're going to announce a trilogy happening soon, it's only been about, next year will be 10 years since The Force Awakens came out. Next year already, 2025, will be 10 years since The Force Awakens. It hasn't been that much time, fellas. It hasn't been that much time at all. So, if your plan is a new trilogy, thinking that we're going to forget what happened in 7, 8, and 9, well, you must be stupid, because we remember. We remember what you did, how you massacred a franchise, and it will not stand. We cannot let that happen. Not that we have any say in it, but, if nobody goes to see it, then they'll have to realize that what they're doing is not good and is actually, wasting money. Even though the 7, 8, and 9 made billions and billions of dollars, I understand that they made a lot of money, but still, you need to approach this not just in the sake of chasing money. I understand that you're a business, but you do have to focus on quality and what you're putting out, and not the quantity. I think that they've been learning that as they go with all these Star Wars shows and spin-offs and movies and whatever, that they now know that this is not a franchise where you can just bank on quantity, but you have to bank on quality and storytelling and characters and stories that people actually care about. That way they'll keep on coming, and hoping that these movies are actually good and not just there. A lot of the things that come out these days, the quality isn't there. They're just there. They made it cool. Yeah, whatever. Okay. What am I supposed to think about that once the show ends? Is there any rewatchability? Does it leave a mark on you? Is it talked about for a while? Is it put into the cultural zeitgeist, pop cultural zeitgeist? Answer is no. It's a big fat no. And if it isn't going to be a continuation of the episodes, then I guess we'll have to wait and see what the idea is. There could be. Right now, nobody wants any Star Wars, but if you pitch a good idea, you might have me interested. You might bring me back in, depending on what that idea is. Now, if that idea is, anything with the new trilogy, what they did with the new trilogy, like the new characters, I might be in just because it's going to be brand new, and it doesn't have to, it does not have to revolve really around the newer movies that just came out. I might be interested. If it's something that happened in the past and like a current timeline of Star Wars, I'll probably ask myself okay, it better be good, because we have delved into past generations of Star Wars and worked our way through multiple timelines, multiple characters, and try to fit every waking moment of whoever's character that we're focusing and giving them okay, this is what he did between this movie and this movie, and between this season and that season, and between this series and that series. It's at what point are we this is just too much? This is too much. We know way too much about this character to even entertain people anymore. They know everything about him, what he's been through, what he's done. What else can we possibly do that isn't oversaturating it? We probably have come to a point where we don't want any more of it. We're just sick of it. Give me something new that isn't this. That way you can kind of start fresh. But then again, Hollywood doesn't want new. They want what's successful. And what was successful, as much as we hate to admit it, was the Star Wars sequel trilogy. It was very, very, very successful financially. It freaking did numbies. And seems like they have no other ideas, so they're probably going to go through 10, 11, and 12 and make something that's complete, utter trash. Now, I know that Simon Kinberg has written a lot of the Rebels show, I believe. So he's established in Star Wars, but still, is it something that they should take on? I don't think so. If I'm being honest, I probably think I would honestly avoid any of that noise and just not even worry about that. Maybe make a couple meaningful spin-offs with stories that are worthy and maybe branch off of those. But as far as continuing the episodes, absolutely 100% do not do that. That's just my idea. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't. If I am, I'd like to hear a very detailed rebuttal to why they should continue the episodes, because at this moment I cannot think of any reason or anybody who wants to see these continue whatsoever. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm looking at this from a realistic perspective and who these movies can be for. I just don't see any situation where it would be a good idea to make a legitimately good idea to make episodes 10, 11, and 12. I just don't see it at all. Moving on to some more entertainment news. I know I got a lot today, but I just got to get through these because it just caught my eye and I was just what's going on here? What's going on with this? Why are they doing this? IGN is kind of weird. This has been going on for a week now. Now, IGN on YouTube, what they post normally is their daily shows of covering down pop culture news and stuff like that, announcements. They also put up trailers, they put up game breakdowns, game reviews, movie reviews. As much as they're criticized, as much as they seem so fake, they do it anyway. But that's not what I'm getting on them for this time. And by the way, the reviews for some of the things that they actually review and they actually put out I mean, like, if you actually look at these reviews and their scores for the things that they review and what they score it, it'll actually leave you a little bit stupid on some of the things that they actually give these scores to. Like, I think that they really, like, just did not like The Penguin, and it's already become, like, one of the best shows on TV right now. And they've given, like, a bunch of, like, other movies and shows that people love some pretty wild reviews. Don't know why, if that's even, like, possible, but, you know, I mean, they've also had some ones that align with the general public and what reviewers are saying. But a lot of the reviews are just a sham and just, you know, just bullshit, in my opinion. But that's not what I'm going to get on them about this week. They have been posting a specific playlist and series of videos in their main YouTube channel. And what they are of a game called Dragon Age, the Veilguard. I think that's what it's called. Now, I never played this game. I never played a Dragon Age game, but it seems like some kind of like fantasy, medieval, mythical, guys with swords and shields type of game. Like I said, I've never played it, but that's just my general like viewpoint and my general assumption of what this game is, right? But for some reason, what they're posting about this game is not a review. It's not a breakdown. It's not a it isn't like a trailer or, like I said, a review or a score or a tutorial. It is straight up 4K romance scenes of characters in Dragon Age, the Veilguard, in 4K. And I've been catching on to this literally within the past few days. Let's see, I'm on it right now. I got one. Let's see. There's more. Don't. 2. 3. What is it? I know I've seen more. Come on. Where are you? 4. Let me just start again because I know I've seen them. There's been plenty of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I've seen 5 within the past 2 days, and the rest of their review, their videos are trailer, hands-on, interview, trailer, editorial piece, trailer, clip, trailer, review, and gameplay, trailer, clip, romance, trailer, romance. I mean, like, romance scenes, yes, in 4K. I mean, like, this is just strange to me. I don't know what it is or whose idea is this. If this is to get some kind of like scandalous, spicy clicks, or just the sheer like natural reaction. But I've caught on and I've seen this and I'm like, what the hell's going on with IGN right now? Like, why is it just the romance scenes? You know, like the dialogue and how it gets to the romance and how these characters, I guess it's just like, what is the point of this? You know, who actually greenlit this? Whose idea was this to post these videos, which are just fucking weird? You know, and like, I mean, like, what kind of freaky down bad nerd is allowing this to happen? This is so strange. You know, IGN has done a lot of weird things, but this might be the weirdest thing of all time. Like, why for this? I mean, like, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure that this game is not as spicy as like The Witcher 3, but like, still, like, what is the point of this? Like, why? And I had to do my own research, right? I clicked on one of these videos and I skimmed through it, and it's literally just like dialogue choices. You know, they get all like hot and heavy. They cut to black, and then boom, it's after the deed is done, and there's more dialogue and stuff like that. And it's just like, what was the point of this? Why even do this? You know, such a weird thing to post, like a weird series of videos to post on your main YouTube account, where all you do normally is editorials, clips, trailers, gameplay, breakdowns. Like, I mean, like it was just so strange for this to happen. I mean, like, I can't be the only person that has caught on to this. I mean, like, I just want to know, like, what is going on over there at IGN? Who greenlit this? For real, it just caught me off guard. But I saw it as it was happening, and I was just like, what in the fuck is this? Whose idea was this? Why was this greenlit? I'm telling you, man, it had to have been some really down bad nerd was just like, we need to put something out there. What about this? I mean, I like this. You know, maybe this will get some clicks. But even then, like, I'm looking at the videos right now, you know, these type of ones, the romance ones. And they're not doing bad numbies. You know, they got 22,000 views, 21,000, while like let's see, like a game or like a Easter egg video gets like 5,000. Clip of Minecraft, trailer for Minecraft gets 8,000. Review of this gets 30,000. You know, it's just like, what in the hell is going on? You know, I just don't understand. Like, the mindset of this is wild, and it still kind of breaks my brain. Like, what the hell were they thinking about this? You know, but hey, you know, they probably were like trying to get away with it. But if you read these comments, they're all like the same. Like, what in the fuck is this? Why was this posted? You know? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, dude, I mean, I totally agree. What the hell happened here? Whose decision was this? And why was it made? And why do they keep doing it? Oh my God. I mean, like, I'm chuckling at it because I see this and I'm just like, yo, huh? Am I seeing this right? Why only for this game? Is this game new? I don't even know if it's new or not, but like, why these videos in particular? No actual action, no gameplay, just the romancing? What? I don't know. I don't know, man. It was just way too weird, and I could not let it go without bringing it up because it was just way too strange. All right, now, finally breaking away from pop culture and stuff like that. There was a UAP hearing. Unidentified anomalous phenomena, what they're now being called. Formerly unidentified aerial phenomena, and before that, unidentified flying object. UFOs and aliens. There was a hearing, and Lou Elizondo, a former Defense Department researcher, has come out and said that the government has recorded crash and retrieval program that is designed to identify and reverse alien craft. The judge asked him about this, or the representative asked him about this in this hearing, and he said yes, that we have a program that is designed to identify and reverse alien craft. Now, I tend to believe this guy because he has been saying this for so many years. He has all this information that he still can't really say to the public about aliens and UAPs. Just a reminder, they're now called unidentified anomalous phenomenon because they have been seen in flight, in the air, in the sea. They're not just being locked to the air, even though I think that's like the most common places that they've seen them. So an unidentified anomalous phenomena. And I mean, first of all, the fact that he is saying that we have a recorded crash retrieval program that is designed to identify and reverse alien craft. Him confirming this is what I already believed. I mean, it would be very, very silly for us to not try to study these crafts that seem to be more real and real as days go on. That people have seen these, that we have them, that we're studying them to see how they work, and if we can reverse engineer, make it our own. Does it become like a weapon race between nations? I mean, him confirming this is big. For one, to confirm it, to be like, hey, this is true. I'm speaking upon this. I'm putting my career on the line, my life on the line, saying this is real. Only brings me to the, confirmation, like, yes, we are getting closer and closer to revealing aliens fully exist. Even though him saying this is already confirming that there are aliens, that we are not alone in this universe and this planet, that they are here and that their technology is real and that we actually have it, is confirming that, hey, another step closer to the confirmation and the reveal of aliens, that they are real. And I've thought that they've been real for a long time. This is exciting news. This is very, very, very exciting. And it's only just like now puts you into like a think tank of like, how long has this been going for? What do we have? Have we made any progress? Exciting things like that, but also like things like, hey, has anybody been hurt, killed from this program? Has anybody been like, had to be protected from what they've seen? Has anybody had to been kept away from maybe an exposure that we don't even know about? Your brain kind of, starts to tick and be like, you know what, this is a cool thing. This is an interesting thing. But now if it's starting to affect people's lives, even more information is going to have to come out, because if it's affecting people's lives and their livelihoods and their families and their careers, then hey, this has got to be brought to the attention, even further. And that this little secret that the government was trying to hide from us is becoming a big, big, big problem. Not just for the progress of humanity, but for the people that have been involved in this program and what has happened to them, and things not even just in this country, but around the world, which is weird because you don't hear about this stuff too much in other countries at all, really. You just hear about it in the United States, which is kind of strange, if I'm being honest. I mean, you hear it from time to time in other countries, but not as much as you hear from now. Maybe it's because it's our own, we just kind of tend to focus on our own, business than other nations. But like, still, I think that if, Scandinavia or like, Norway or people in Europe, find like a crashed craft, we would have still heard about it, right? But I guess, we don't really hear too much about that, just in our neck of the woods. So this is gigantic news, in my opinion, confirming that there is a program to identify and study and back engineer crashed alien craft from the government. A program that actually exists is, to me, wild, and another major step into revealing what else is yet to come from these UAP hearings, which are getting more and more interesting as the years go by. I mean, it's not going to stop either. I mean, these guys are in full swing trying to get the truth revealed. And just from what this guy was saying, Lou Elizondo, what else he had to add, like, there's so much more that he cannot say because his life is literally in danger, and that he can't say publicly yet, is just, when you hear it, it's kind of chilling. It's kind of chilling. You almost want to be like, holy hell, this guy could probably be assassinated within a day if he says way too much. And you think to yourself, like, dude, who is really in charge of this? And how did they get away with it for so many years? How many people have been affected by this? Oh, it's almost like, government secrets are crazy, right? From like, ever since like, where it got really like, they were hiding stuff like in, like the Cold War era, Iraq war, all that stuff. It just like, it's been going on for a lot longer than that. And when you really think about it, what like has been hidden and the truth that has been fed to us, that is air quotes the truth, you tend to think like, is that really the truth, or is that what they want us to think is the truth? It is sketchy, man. It is super, super sketchy. All right, last thing I want to talk about is a couple of things in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show a couple days ago, saying that that he thinks that they fire coaches and coordinators too quickly in the NFL. This is coming off of a lot of firings that have been happening in the NFL in the past few weeks. I know that Luke Getsy of the Raiders was the OC. He got fired. Shane Waldron from the Chicago Bears, their OC, got fired within this week. And he has gone on to say that they fired them too quickly, that they need a little bit more time to gel and show their full, picture of how they want to run an offense, and that they have to think back of like, how they were planning their season before the firing, and how that they were so in step with each other, and this is the plan. And that because of the media and because of the the discourse in the NFL, and because of what fans say, like saying fire this guy, he's bad, fire this guy, he's the worst, that could actually bleed into owners and general managers' decisions when it comes to the overall team and how the fans perceive them, which, of course, ultimately you're not going to want to piss off your fans, right? Because ultimately they are, the ones buying the tickets, they are the ones buying the merchandise, they are the ones that you have to play for, they are the most important. So I understand like where he's coming from, where, yeah, you got to let people, evolve, and you got not just evolve, but like see them, try to, maneuver their vision of like an offense and how it's going to work. And when you fire them so quickly, it could seem like a little like of a jerk reaction, like, just like panic button and then boom, okay, we'll fire him. Yeah, I mean that's the key, right? But I can see like how that wouldn't really work, like because like these are coordinators and coaches that have ideas that they need to also try to mold into and see their idea come to life, right? And let's say you fire an OC after 7 games, right? An offensive coordinator gets fired after 7 games, and like you don't really get to see him truly bring it to life. I mean, I guess you kind of do with the 7 games, but like I can also see his point of saying like, people expect like results to happen, now, especially like if you're an offensive coordinator. With the Bears situation, with the Caleb Williams being your rookie quarterback, I mean, he's a rookie and he's their first year coordinator. What did you really expect? Did you expect miracles? Like, did you expect it to happen overnight? Like, that's obviously going to take some time, There's just no way that could be a true home run success within the first 10 games of the season. I mean, I just don't see how that's even possible. Like, I mean, how does that even work? But I get it. If you're an owner or GM, you gotta have to weather the storm. And if your team is performing badly, like really badly, not meeting the expectations, and you're an owner and you're seeing how the team is, you're gonna want to make changes, as quick as possible. And you see all the discourse online and on the media, how they're painting it too. The media contributes to that as well. They now see a viewpoint like, hey, this should be happening now. Why is this not happening? And they're like, the teams are now under pressure to make changes, to see what happens. Maybe it ends up being a good change or a bad change. But I do see his point that they fire coordinators and coaches too quickly, and that a lot of that has to do from media influence and fan and discourse like that. And just, I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, how long can you let it go where it's not going to work or you don't see it working? Like, when do you make the right decision to stop the bleeding? You know what I'm saying? But I thought that was a very, very interesting take from Aaron Rodgers. In other news, Anthony Richardson is going to be the starting quarterback moving forward for the Indianapolis Colts. Joe Flacco has not been playing well the past 2 games that he started for Richardson, and now they're going back to Anthony Richardson, which he has made some comments like, hey, I know I'm going to be the starting quarterback again for this foreseeable season, but he made some comments like saying that he needs to uphold that and perform well and play well and keep that position because, the NFL is not a guaranteed job. He's saying that he was super thankful for the chance to come back and that he has to, step up and make sure that he earns the spot and maintains the spot, because a lot of times we think, with starting quarterbacks, like they're there for the season, like they're that's their job. Once they're named starter at the beginning, that's it. But it's not it. We've seen it with Anthony Richardson. We saw it with Justin Fields in the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've seen it countless times with the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, the starting quarterback position is the most important position in the NFL. And if you're not going to be able to maintain that, quality of play, you're going to lose your job, quickly. So it's just, it's just the nature and the reality of that business. And he knows it. Richardson knows it. And I listen, I don't think that he's going to be that much better from what we've seen, unless he's like grown so much within 2 weeks. But I guess we'll just see how it goes. I'm interested. I'm willing to see like how he plays moving forward, how he's going to learn and adapt more and maybe do things that he's maybe not so comfortable with doing, and see how that, how that goes. But I guess like it's just so strange, to see an organization like the Colts go from like, all right, he's benched, to like, no, we want him back. He's the best fit for the team. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. That's going to be it for me today, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.